Welcome to Liberty Today. Sam Kephart says the TSA may be killing you, but Mark Chase is excited about life. Shad Olson compares the Twinkie crisis and the fiscal cliff. And is there a magician in the governor's office? All this and more on Liberty Today.
Well, I thought I knew what my friend meant when he said he always requests the pat-down from TSA. Sam Kephart, you're one of the few people I know, maybe the only guy I know, who, when you fly, you insist on a pat-down.
Yes.
Now, please tell me there's some scientific evidence behind that request.
Yeah, there actually is. And again, I don't want to be an alarmist, but it was interesting. About a year and a half ago, Harvard Medical School, credible science institution, and the Los Alamos Laboratory. Los Alamos is the laboratory in New Mexico, now does a lot of different research, but they were the folks that invented the atomic bomb. So do you think they know something about radiation, Gordon?
Isn't that the place that aliens visited our country?
Some of that
Earth?
too.
So are you suggesting there's some kind of an alien connection between TSA and the alien connection?
That's a story for a different time.
Okay,
but we're going to talk about terahertz waves. There are two basic types of scanners that when you go to the Rapid City Airport or Sioux Falls or one of the major airports, you're asked to go through a scanner and it takes an image. Fine, security procedure. The problem is, according to the Harvard Medical School, in conjunction with physicists at the Los Alamos Research Laboratories, the waves that are generated by the backscatter X-ray machine, which is one technology, or the millimeter wave machine, both at their core operate off what is called terahertz waves. It's a type of radio wave in physics, or
now,
energy
and
waves.
those you're talking about the kind of machines that you are exposed to when you walk through
Yes, sir.
security.
And essentially, the research showed that there was a high probability, certainly over time, if you're exposed to the machines, that your DNA gets shredded. Let me repeat that. Your DNA, your body's core chemical pattern gets shredded or can be shredded by the technology, the waves that are emanating from these machines.
Now explain that to our, the vision I get is you put these notes in a paper shredder and you can't understand any of it. Are you saying that it so scrambles our DNA that our body doesn't know what to do with it?
Yes, it could affect, for instance, cancer, so that you actually would become the subject of cancer, which has happened. This has not been well publicized, but certain airports around the country, the TSA workers, not the passengers, the people who work there in proximity to these machines, there have been at least half a dozen skyrocketing cancer clusters by people that work by these machines. Now, just this last weekend, the TSA came out and said they are decommissioning the backscatter X-ray machines. Now, the millimeter wave machines are still being left in place, but half the problem, and these are machines that they paid tens of millions of dollars for, from the guy that was the prior administrator.
Who's going to buy these used machines?
Nobody. Europe banned them a year and a half ago, and the really sad thing is they're being removed because, we don't like the software and the imaging, and they're not telling people the truth about the potential for cancer. So if you do travel, it's very important that people realize, and particularly if you have young kids or teenagers where, their sexual organs could be exposed to this type of DNA stuff, you literally could be damaging your children at a propagation level, and I'm not kidding.
Well, be honest with me. When you go through security and you request a pat-down, doesn't it make you a little nervous when they start to glove up?
Of course, but
Okay.
but to me it beats.
I'm just wondering.
No, it beats the possibility of ending up with cancer. I mean, you and I, how many friends have we had that have died from brain cancer or some kind of systemic cancer in their body?
Well, it's a great example of how our own nation's security is killing us, literally. And restricting our freedoms, and it's just one of a host of things that our government is doing to us in the name of protecting us.
Well, here's the worst thing. I say what we're being subjected to in addition to screening, and I was in the security business, I understand that. The best thing to do is profiling. They won't do that because it's not politically correct. The Israelis have done very well by profiling, but beyond that, just from a security standpoint, beyond that, they are getting a compliant society. This is all moving towards Big Brother. It's a building block, a fairly large one, because you can't move today. You can't fly out of Rapid City without having to go through that machine.
You and I are old enough to know and remember a day when you could not only get on an airplane without a driver's license, I could advertise a ticket for sale in the newspaper and you could buy it.
Right.
Those days, folks, are gone. But hopefully, so are these machines.